All right, let's get right into it. This is the story of one of rock's most unique and, frankly, most successful bands. A band defined by no frills, gimmick-free rock and roll, and two incredible forces of nature that were just destined to collide.
And this is the story of That Lightning Flash, the legendary frontman, Bon Scott, and how he basically completed the circuit for a band that was on a mission to conquer the entire world. So our story doesn't begin with a lightning strike. Nope. It starts with two others in Sydney, Australia, who had a serious fire in their bellies, and conveniently a global rock star for an older brother. You know, having a successful older brother like George was this massive advantage. It was like they had a roadmap to stardom. They didn't just see the glory, though. They saw the bad deals, the false promises. They saw the whole machine, warts and all. This gave Malcolm, especially, a really sharp business sense. He learned from his brother's mistakes, which, believe me, would become a huge deal for AC/DC down the line.
So at first, the band, man, they were a visual mess. They were trying to cash in on that whole glam rock thing. But Malcolm, with that business sense we just talked about, he knew their strength wasn't in costumes. It was in raw power. So he stripped everything back, just jeans and t-shirts. The music was the star. The one exception? Angus. That schoolboy uniform was a brilliant, unforgettable piece of branding. It was this visual hook that immediately set them apart.
Okay, so while the Young brothers are building this machine, there's another guy, a super charismatic frontman who's on his own, much more winding path, just trying to find the right stage. You gotta understand, Bon Scott was a true journeyman of rock. I mean, he'd been a drummer, a co-frontman, even the leader of this hippie band. He was building that legendary stage presence piece by piece, but the right vehicle just never seemed to show up. After his band Fraternity failed, and I mean failed spectacularly, in the UK, he was left broke, disillusioned, and just totally adrift. His friends called him a larrikin, which is this great Aussie term for a mischievous but good-hearted guy. They said he had this constant twinkle in his eye. As one friend put it, you just knew that if you spent some time with him, you were going to have some fun. By 1974, though, Bon's life was just in pieces. His band, Fraternity, broken up. His marriage, fallen apart. And then a near-fatal motorcycle accident lands him in the hospital. This gave him a long, painful time to just think about his future. He knew something had to change. And this is the moment where two completely different stories, these two powerful forces, were about to just crash into each other. You've got the Young brothers' relentless ambition on one side and Bon Scott's wandering, charismatic soul on the other. The collision was going to be absolutely electric. So yeah, what does happen? Well, AC/DC needed a new singer. Their original vocalist just wasn't the right fit. And Bon Scott, still recovering from his accident, gets recommended by a mutual friend. Now, what's kind of funny is the Youngs thought Bon might be a little old for them, and Bon thought they were just a bunch of kids. But then they had their first jam session in a basement, just tearing through Chuck Berry songs all night, and that sealed the moment Bon joined, it was like the final essential piece just clicked into place. Bam. He was way more than a singer. He was the focal point. He was the storyteller who could translate the band's raw power into these tales from the street. He was the lovable rogue, the master wordsmith, the heart and soul. He made it real. So with Bon at the helm, AC/DC became this unstoppable force. They kicked off a relentless campaign of touring and recording that was about to put them on the world stage.
And then, man, they just exploded. Album by album, you can literally hear the momentum building. First, you get the raw punch of High Voltage. Then, the focused American assault of Let There Be Rock. Each record was a bigger, bolder step, and it all culminated in the masterpiece, Highway to Hell. Their secret wasn't fancy production. It was just relentless hard work.
And that was it. That was their whole deal. From tiny pubs in Sydney to massive arenas in America, they built their fan base city by city, show by show. They understood that to conquer the world, you had to play everywhere, for everyone, nonstop. This working class ethic was just second to none. But that relentless pace, it takes a toll. Behind the lovable rogue persona, Bon was getting tired. During a late-night chat in 1978 with his old friend Vince Lovegrove, he admitted he was sick of life on the road and just wanted a break, a chance at an ordinary life. Just as they finally reached the peak of global fame with Highway to Hell, Just as they had the world in their hands, the story takes this tragic, sudden, awful turn. After a night of heavy drinking in London, Bon Scott passed out in the back of a friend's car. He would never wake up. The coroner's verdict was death by misadventure. He was just 33 years old. The shock was just immense. I mean, think about the timing. It's absolutely heartbreaking. He died right there on the verge of the global superstardom they had all worked so damn hard for. He never got to experience the massive success of Back in Black, the tribute album that would become one of the biggest records in history. Friends and critics all seem to agree that when Bon died, something essential went out of the band. It was the sense of fun, that lovable, cheeky, larrikin spirit. You can literally hear him grinning on those records. That character, that unique, one-off performance, it was just gone. So what's his legacy? It's in the music, of course, but it's also in that unforgettable persona. He was this rough diamond who brought an ordinary, authentic, and maybe slightly dangerous edge to rock and roll. He wasn't some pretty boy rock god. He was one of the guys, just magnified to the nth degree, proving that he was truly the lightning flash in the middle.